I watched Samuel Stoltzfus throw away $30 worth of premium rabbit pellets right in front of me, and when I asked him why, his answer made me question everything I thought I knew about feeding rabbits. "English folks make feeding complicated," he said, gesturing toward his 180 rabbits. "We make it simple." Then he showed me his feed bill for the entire year. I had to ask him to repeat the number because I didn't believe it the first time. $47 for the entire year for 180 rabbits, while I was spending more than that every month on just 12 animals. And his rabbits? They were bigger, healthier, and growing faster than anything I'd ever seen. Here's what the feed companies don't want you to know. They've convinced us that rabbits need processed pellets to survive. It's the biggest lie in animal husbandry, and it's costing rabbit owners a fortune. Think about this for 30 seconds. Rabbits survived for millions of years without a single pellet factory. They built massive populations eating nothing but plants. Yet somehow, in the last 50 years, we've been convinced they'll die without processed corn and soy. I started digging into what's actually in those pellets: corn, which rabbits can't properly digest; soy meal, which disrupts their hormone systems; artificial vitamins, because the processing destroys all the natural ones; and preservatives, to keep it from rotting on the shelf. The average rabbit owner with a small breeding operation spends $2,400 annually on pellets. That's a car payment for processed junk that's actually making their rabbits sick. But here's what really made me angry. The pellet-fed rabbits are constantly at the vet: digestive problems, dental issues, reproductive failures. The feed companies created the problem, then the vet industry profits from treating it. It's a perfect scam, and we're the marks. Samuel walked me over to what looked like an ordinary plant and said, "This one plant feeds 4 rabbits for a week. Plant 10 of them. Feed 40 rabbits all season. Cost me 50 cents for the seed." Comfrey is basically a money printing machine that grows in your backyard. One plant produces 30 pounds of leaves per season. At current pellet prices, that's $180 worth of feed from a 50-cent seed. The math is so ridiculous it sounds made up. But here's the kicker. Comfrey contains more protein than those expensive pellets. 22% protein versus 16% in premium commercial feed, plus natural vitamins, minerals, and enzymes that processing destroys. Watch a rabbit eat Comfrey versus pellets. With Comfrey, they're excited. They select their favorite parts. They're engaged in the feeding process. With pellets, they eat mechanically, like prisoners consuming their daily ration. Samuel showed me the multiplication secret. Each mature Comfrey plant develops multiple crowns that can be divided. Start with 1 plant in spring, he said. Have 50 plants by fall. English folks buy more pellets. We make more plants. The comment section is going to explode on this one. How many of you are spending more on rabbit feed than your car payment? Drop a number below. I want to see if I'm the only one who got played by the feed industry. While you're spending hundreds on pellets, you're probably paying someone to kill premium rabbit food in your yard. Dandelions contain more nutrition than most commercial feeds, yet we treat them like the enemy. The Amish don't just tolerate dandelions, they cultivate them. Their dandelion patches produce leaves twice the size of wild ones, with protein levels that would make alfalfa farmers jealous. Here's what blew my mind. Dandelions contain beta-carotene, iron, calcium, and natural digestive enzymes. Everything the pellet companies try to add artificially, dandelions provide naturally. And they're free. Samuel's 8-year-old daughter knows more about rabbit nutrition than most veterinarians. She can identify the perfect harvest stage, knows which parts contain the most protein, and understands seasonal nutrition cycles that commercial operations ignore completely. The transformation in my rabbits was immediate: brighter eyes, glossier coats, more energy. It was like watching sick animals recover, except they weren't sick. They were just malnourished on expensive pellets. Tell me in the comments, have you ever considered that the weeds in your yard might be better than the expensive feed you're buying? This is going to challenge everything you think you know about rabbit nutrition. Here's what the feed companies never tell you. Rabbits have a unique digestive system called cecotrophy. They produce special nutrient-rich droppings that they re-eat to extract maximum nutrition. But this system only works with natural plant materials. Pellets destroy this natural process. Dr. Susan Brown's research at University of Illinois found that pellet-fed rabbits show 40% reduced cecotrophy efficiency. They're literally starving while eating expensive food. The secum contains over 200 species of beneficial bacteria that break down plant cellulose. These bacteria evolved to process fresh plants, not processed pellets. Feed the wrong food, and the entire system collapses. Rabbits in the wild instinctively select different plants for different nutritional needs. They're not just eating, they're self-medicating, balancing nutrients and optimizing their health. Pellets eliminate this natural wisdom. The processing required to make pellets destroys everything that makes plants nutritious. High heat kills enzymes. Pressure eliminates beneficial compounds. Artificial vitamins can't replace what nature provided. This is why your pellet-fed rabbits have digestive problems. Their bodies are designed for fresh plants, not processed industrial waste. If this is hitting home, hit that like button. I need to know I'm not the only one who figured this out. Winter is when English folks get desperate, Samuel told me, gesturing toward his stored plant materials. They buy more pellets. We use what summer gave us. His storage system preserves summer nutrition through the coldest months. The drying process is precise science disguised as simple farming. Bundle too tight and the center molds. Too loose and nutrients oxidize. The Amish have perfected the technique through 150 years of trial and error. Root storage happens in cool cellars where temperatures stay constant. Dandelion and comfrey roots maintain their nutritional value for months when stored in slightly damp sand, providing fresh nutrition when nothing else grows. But here's the game changer: sprouting. During the coldest months, the Amish transform simple seeds into nutritional powerhouses using nothing but water and time. The nutrition multiplication is incredible. Sprouting increases vitamin C by 600%, creates enzymes that weren't present in dry seeds, and multiplies available nutrition by up to 400%. It's like having a fresh vegetable garden in your kitchen during winter. The results speak for themselves. Samuel's rabbits show no decline in condition during winter feeding, no weight loss, no health problems, no expensive vet bills. Just healthy animals eating natural food year-round. How many of you are dreading winter feed costs right now? Share this with someone who needs to see that there's a better way than buying expensive pellets all winter long. Every apple tree owner throws away hundreds of pounds of premium rabbit feed annually. Those pruned branches contain nutrients that rabbits crave, plus natural medicine that prevents common health problems. The cambium layer under apple bark contains natural sugars, minerals, and compounds that act as dewormers. Rabbits instinctively seek out these nutrients, but pellet feeding eliminates their ability to self-medicate. Watch rabbits with apple branches versus pellets. The branches engage their natural gnawing instincts, wearing down constantly growing teeth while delivering nutrients. Pellets provide neither benefit. Dental problems are epidemic in pellet-fed rabbits because they never get proper tooth wear. Apple branches solve this naturally while providing nutrition and medicine. It's preventive health care that costs nothing. Proper storage preserves branch quality for months. Fresh-cut branches bundled and stored in cool, ventilated areas retain their nutritional value and palatability throughout winter feeding periods. Scaling up is simple. Contact local orchards during pruning season. Most owners pay to have branches hauled away. You can get tons of premium rabbit feed for the cost of pickup and labor. I bet half of you have apple trees and never realized you're throwing away hundreds of dollars worth of rabbit feed every year. Am I right? Let me know in the comments what free feed sources you've been overlooking. This technique transforms $10 worth of seeds into $400 worth of nutrition. The Amish use sprouting to bridge the gap between stored feeds and fresh plants, creating living nutrition in the dead of winter. The transformation is almost magical. Tiny seeds absorb water, activate dormant enzymes, and explode into nutritious sprouts within days. The volume increase alone is remarkable, but the nutrition multiplication is what matters. Sprouting activates enzymes that break down starches into digestible sugars while creating vitamins that didn't exist in the dry seeds. Vitamin C increases 600%, protein becomes more digestible, and minerals become more bioavailable. The technique is simple but precise. Soak seeds 8 to 12 hours, drain completely, then rinse twice daily for 3 to 5 days. The key is maintaining moisture without creating conditions for harmful bacteria. Seed variety ensures complete nutrition. Mung beans provide protein. Alfalfa offers vitamins and minerals. Wheat berries supply carbohydrates and B vitamins. Rotating different seeds creates balanced nutrition profiles. Scaling up requires organization but not expensive equipment. Stagger sprouting batches to ensure continuous production. Each batch takes 5 days, so maintain 5 separate containers in various stages. This sprouting system alone could eliminate your winter feed bills. If you try this for just 1 week and don't see dramatic improvements in your rabbit's health and your feed costs, come back and tell me I'm wrong. Look, I know this challenges everything the feed industry has taught us, but I spent 3 months documenting Samuel's methods because the results were undeniable. His rabbits are healthier, his costs are nearly zero, and his meat quality commands premium prices. If you're tired of expensive solutions that don't work, the complete breakdown of his 4-plant foundation system is in the description. And what I'm about to show you next will prove that everything we've been told about rabbit nutrition is backwards. Commercial operations struggle with breeding failures, small litters, and high kit mortality. Samuel's does average 10.2 kits per litter with 95% survival to weaning. The difference is nutrition that supports natural reproductive cycles. Pre-breeding nutrition focuses on specific plants that support hormone production and reproductive health. Does receive increased portions of young comfrey and fresh clover for 6 weeks before breeding, optimizing body condition naturally. Pregnancy demands 25% more calories and significantly more protein. The natural feeding system adapts easily, providing sprouted grains, fresh roots, and high-protein plants that pellets can't match for bioavailability. Lactation requires peak nutrition, as does produce milk containing up to 15% protein. Natural feeds support this demand without the weight loss and health problems common in pellet-fed breeding animals. The results are measurable. Higher conception rates, larger litters, improved survival, and faster growth. Natural nutrition creates a positive cycle where healthy mothers produce healthy offspring. Weaning becomes seamless when young rabbits are exposed to diverse plants from birth. Unlike pellet-fed animals that struggle with dietary changes, naturally fed rabbits adapt effortlessly to adult nutrition. Be honest. How many breeding failures have you blamed on genetics when it might have been nutrition all along? The comments are going to be brutal on this one, but someone needs to say it. While you're buying expensive pellets for winter carbohydrates, the Amish grow mangle beets that can weigh 15 pounds each. 1 beet provides carbohydrates for 20 rabbits for a full day. Mangle beets contain natural sugars for energy, fiber for digestive health, and minerals like potassium and magnesium. Unlike artificial sugars and pellets, mangle beets provide sustained energy without digestive upset. Storage techniques preserve roots for months without electricity. Layered in damp sand or sawdust in cool cellars, roots maintain nutritional value and palatability throughout winter feeding periods. Variety ensures balanced nutrition. Turnips provide vitamin C and digestive enzymes. Rutabagas offer higher calories for cold weather. Different roots supply different nutrients, creating complete nutrition profiles. The feeding response is immediate and obvious. Rabbits show increased appetite and energy when root vegetables are added to their diet. The natural variety keeps them interested in eating throughout winter. The economics are compelling. Growing root vegetables costs pennies per pound compared to dollars per pound for commercial pellets. One season's garden provides winter feed for dozens of rabbits. How many of you are growing vegetables for yourselves but never considered growing feed for your rabbits? The math on this is going to shock you when you calculate your potential savings. The Amish don't just feed their rabbits, they maintain specific medicinal plants that treat common ailments without expensive veterinary interventions. It's preventive health care that costs almost nothing. Willow bark contains salicin, the natural precursor to aspirin. When rabbits show discomfort or inflammation, willow bark tea is added to drinking water or fed as soaked bark pieces, providing gentle pain relief. Wormwood serves as natural deworming agent that's safer than chemical alternatives. The bitter compounds create inhospitable environment for intestinal parasites while supporting healthy digestion. Echinacea boosts immune function, helping rabbits resist infections and recover quickly from illness. Dried flowers and roots create powder that's mixed with regular feed during stress or disease pressure. Chamomile provides digestive support and stress relief, particularly important during breeding or environmental changes. The mild sedative properties calm nervous rabbits, while anti-inflammatory compounds soothe digestive irritation. Preparation preserves medicinal properties while ensuring proper dosages. Careful timing of harvest when active compounds peak, combined with traditional drying and storage, maintains potency for years. This is controversial, but I'm going to say it. Most rabbit health problems are nutrition problems in disguise. Fix the nutrition naturally, and the health problems disappear. Agree or disagree? Let me know below. Samuel's neighbor runs 500 rabbits using the same natural feeding principles. The system scales efficiently from backyard to commercial production without losing effectiveness or increasing complexity. Scaling plant production involves transitioning from garden to field cultivation. Large operations plant comfrey in rows suitable for mechanical harvest, reducing labor while maintaining quality. Storage systems expand to handle tons of materials rather than pounds. Large operations use traditional drying supplemented with controlled ventilation that maintains quality while handling commercial volumes. Labor organization becomes crucial for large operations. Systematic schedules distribute feeding tasks efficiently while ensuring consistent nutrition across hundreds of animals. Quality control monitors plant nutrition and animal health to maintain standards across large numbers. Simple testing methods ensure consistency without expensive laboratory analysis. Market advantages include premium pricing for naturally raised meat and dramatically lower production costs. Restaurants pay 40 to 60% more for naturally fed rabbit meat, improving profitability significantly. The scalability is what convinced me this isn't just backyard hobby farming. This is a complete replacement for industrial feeding systems. If you're running a serious operation, this changes everything. Even with good intentions, critical mistakes can destroy natural feeding programs. These errors harm rabbit health, kill plant production, or create more problems than commercial feeding. Improper drying creates deadly mold problems. Plants dried too slowly or in humid conditions develop toxins that cause liver damage and death. Proper ventilation and timing are absolutely critical. Rapid dietary transitions shock rabbit digestive systems and can cause fatal problems. Changes from pellets to natural feeds must happen gradually over 2 to 3 weeks, allowing gut bacteria to adapt. Plant identification errors can be fatal. Several common plants look similar to safe feeds but contain deadly toxins. Proper education and careful identification are essential before feeding any plants. Overfeeding high-calorie natural foods creates obesity and health problems. Root vegetables and sprouted grains still require portion control. Too much of anything causes problems. Seasonal feeding errors occur when nutrition isn't adjusted for breeding cycles, weather changes, or growth stages. Rabbits need different nutrition throughout the year. The biggest mistake is thinking natural feeding is easier than pellets. It's more effective and cheaper, but it requires knowledge and attention. Are you willing to learn, or do you prefer expensive convenience? Let's talk numbers that the feed industry praise you never calculate. Over 5 years, a 50-rabbit operation saves $18,000 in feed costs while producing healthier animals with better meat quality. Pellet costs have increased 340% in 10 years. Operations spending $1,200 annually in 2013 now spend over $4,000 for the same rabbits. These increases far exceed general inflation and show no signs of slowing. Natural system startup costs rarely exceed $300 for equipment and plants that feed 50 rabbits. Comfrey crowns cost $3 each. Other seeds total $50. Basic tools add $100. That's it. By year 2, costs drop to under $50 annually for complete feeding program that would cost thousands with pellets. Established perennial plants produce for decades with minimal inputs. Hidden costs include veterinary treatments for digestive problems, dental issues, and nutritional deficiencies common in pellet-fed rabbits. Natural feeding virtually eliminates these expenses. Return on investment exceeds 6,000% when calculated against initial setup costs. No other agricultural investment investment comes close to these returns. The math is so ridiculous that people think I'm making it up. But Samuel showed me his actual records. If you're not convinced by now, you're probably never going to be. If you've made it this far, you're clearly not satisfied with expensive solutions that create more problems than they solve. What I've documented here represents 150 years of refined knowledge that most rabbit owners never discover. Subscribe because this kind of depth, complete traditional systems that actually work better than modern alternatives, this is what we expose every single week. Plant identification separates successful natural feeding from disaster. Several toxic plants look remarkably similar to safe feeds, and the differences can mean life or death for your rabbits. Plantain identification focuses on the parallel leaf veins that run from base to tip. Toxic lookalikes have branching vein patterns. This single characteristic prevents fatal mistakes. Comfrey and foxglove confusion has killed rabbits when inexperienced people gather plants carelessly. Comfrey has rough, hairy leaves. Foxglove has smooth, fuzzy leaves. The difference is subtle but critical. The Amish teach plant identification through hands-on experience over years. Children learn to identify dozens of plants before they're allowed to gather feed independently. This traditional knowledge prevents accidents. Safe collection involves harvesting only from areas where plants are positively identified and free from contamination. Never collect from roadsides, treated lawns, or unfamiliar locations. Education resources include field guides, botanical references, and experienced mentors who can verify plant identification. Investment in proper education prevents expensive and dangerous mistakes. This is where people get hurt trying to implement natural feeding without proper knowledge. Don't be a statistic, learn properly, or stick with what you know until you do. Natural nutrition follows seasonal cycles that commercial pellets ignore completely. Understanding these cycles optimizes rabbit health while minimizing feeding costs throughout the year. Spring feeding focuses on tender, high-nitrogen plants that support growth and reproduction. Young comfrey, early dandelions, and fresh plantain provide protein boost rabbits need after winter. Summer rotation shifts to mature plants, providing sustained energy and natural cooling properties. Full-grown leaves and established root systems maintain rabbits during hot weather stress. Fall feeding involves plants building fat reserves and strengthening immune systems before winter. Late-season plantain, mature clover, and comfrey roots provide concentrated nutrition for cold months. Winter feeding relies on stored materials and sprouting systems that maintain nutrition when nothing grows fresh. Proper storage and sprouting techniques provide complete nutrition year-round. The results prove the system works. Rabbits maintain health and productivity throughout seasonal changes, without expensive supplements or commercial feeds. Most people feed the same thing year-round and wonder why their rabbits struggle during certain seasons. Nature provides everything needed, but you have to understand the timing. The future of sustainable rabbit production isn't found in more processing, more automation, or more artificial additives. It's found in returning to methods that worked for centuries before industrial agriculture complicated everything. Industrial feed production requires massive energy inputs, transportation, processing, and packaging. Natural feeding uses solar energy, local plants, and zero processing. The environmental impact difference is staggering. Economic sustainability favors natural feeding as industrial costs continue rising while natural methods remain essentially free. The gap widens every year as energy and processing costs increase. Health outcomes consistently favor natural feeding with lower disease rates, reduced veterinary costs, and improved animal welfare. Industrial feeding creates problems that natural feeding prevents. Knowledge transfer becomes critical as more people recognize the failures of industrial systems. Traditional wisdom offers proven alternatives that work better than modern methods. The movement toward natural feeding grows as people discover the economic and health advantages. Early adopters gain competitive advantages, while others struggle with rising costs and health problems. This isn't nostalgia or romanticism. It's practical recognition that traditional methods often work better than industrial alternatives. The Amish prove it every day. Samuel Stoltzfus didn't develop this system to prove a point or make a statement. He developed it because it works better than anything else he tried. His rabbits are healthier, his costs are lower, and his results speak for themselves. What you've learned represents over 150 years of refined traditional knowledge that most rabbit owners never discover. This isn't theory or speculation. It's proven methods that produce better results at lower cost. The choice is yours. Continue spending thousands annually on processed feeds that weaken your rabbit's health, or invest a few $100s to establish natural feeding systems that work for decades. This isn't just about saving money on feed bills. It's about reconnecting with traditional wisdom that produces superior results while building genuine self-sufficiency and sustainable practices. If the Amish rabbit feeding system challenged your assumptions about modern agriculture, you need to see their chicken feeding methods next. They raise 200 chickens per family using zero commercial feed while producing eggs so nutritious that local doctors recommend them to patients. The techniques will completely change how you think about poultry nutrition. Your future self will thank you for discovering this today. That subscribe button connects you to traditional wisdom that actually works better than modern alternatives. And if you're serious about sustainable food production, that video right there reveals the Amish chicken system that eliminates feed costs entirely while producing superior nutrition.